Return with the Playa Vista Party Dog Show in a moment, right here on YouTube.
Brent Musburger, and I'm here on behalf of the members of BAT, Broadcasters Against Drunk Driving. Don't drink and drive, and don't drive drunk. Before you know it, you'll get a DUI. You'll lose your job, and you'll end up announcing the Pittsburgh, Nebraska game. I used to be on top of the world. Final Fours, national championships. Now look at me. Hell, I had to be drunk just to get through the game. I mean, seriously, how do you talk about an offense that doesn't do anything? And you can only say so much about Johnny Rodgers. Anyhow, don't drink and drive, especially in Lincoln. Are we done with this yet? Thank God, I need a drink.
Man, woman, and child is gone!
Playa Vista Party Dog Show on YouTube. I'm John Harber. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Lindsay Lohan has been in the news, but enough of her. Let's talk about The Hills. Pretty controversial show on MTV. You know, they're trying to make this into like The Real World, which was a horrible show. It still is after 20 years. I saw one episode, a couple episodes of The Real World Las Vegas this past summer, a year ago. And I thought it was the biggest pile of crap I've ever seen on television. It was horrible. Well, in the meantime, Heidi Montag has started her own clothing line. And it's called, are you ready? Heidiwood. In my formerly green food-colored stained fingers is a copy of the magazine I got in the mail called LA magazine, which is published by Anchor Blue, which is a clothing line found in malls throughout the United States. Unfortunately, I don't know how they got my address. I suspect they might have gotten it from DirecTV Rewards, since I got a DirecTV Visa card at the beginning of this year. And they said, visit us at the following malls. Burbank Town Center, 35 miles away from this house. Panorama City, Panorama Mall, maybe 30 miles away from this house. You think I'm going to drive from Casa de Harbor 30 to 35 miles to see a bunch of junior clothes? I don't think so, gang. Jeez. Well, here's Heidi Montag. She looks pretty sexy, and obviously, and here's a look at some of her clothes that she has, and also some quotes are in the magazine from Heidi about Heidiwood. She was asked how it came about, and she said, quote, when Anchor Blue got in touch with me, I knew it was a perfect match. So we all sat down and brainstormed and had creative ideas and figured out what pieces we wanted, how the design should look, and what colors and patterns we wanted to use. Now, the inspiration behind the Heidiwood line came because it was all fun. It's flirty. It's spring. So that's a good time to flaunt and show off your spring body. Mm-hmm. And they talk about in the article what kind of a typical day it is, and then they talk about living in LA and the various parts of LA. And she said, quote, it depends on which part. Hollywood's a whole different world than the West Side. No kidding. I went to Hollywood one night last September after I went to the LA Short Films Fest in Burbank. And believe me, walking on down Heidiwood Boulevard is a moment I'll never forget, folks. It was unbelievable. I mean, that's the wildest thing I've ever seen on a Saturday night. You think I get something like that on a Saturday night anywhere else? Well, I don't know. I doubt it. But that was some party they had over there that night. Believe me, they held that actor, the LA Shorts Fest for that night. They held a party at the Hills, up there in that big old shopping center off of Hollywood Boulevard. And that's a place where they have a male review on Saturday night, folks. Jeez. So we were ushered into a side room, and I got in there, believe it or not, and looked around and looked at some of the people that were there. and just giggled like crazy. I remember seeing some women in the corner. They were using their cell phones to take pictures of each other. Think I'm happy I don't have a cell phone? Gee. Would you just imagine me using my cell phone to take pictures? God. Unbelievable. Well, I had to check if my mic was still on. Okay. Let's see. And then they asked about Heidi anyway, getting back to Heidi Montag for a moment. They asked her what inspired her to become a singer, and she said, I've always been a singer. I've been doing musicals and dancing since I was 2 years old. It's actually the biggest passion I have. And then they asked her about recording an album, and she said, oh, it's really fun. The more I'm in the studio and the more comfortable I get, the more I know what I was meant to do. Well, here's a look at some of the collection of Heidi Montag. Here's one. There's a black shirt, and then over here, lovely black dress, pretty flirty tiger print short dress. Oh, summery type black striped dress, and t-shirt and black t-shirt, gray slacks. The pumps look pretty special too. And you have to admit, Heidi really has cute legs. Of course, the rest of this magazine, here's more of the Heidiwood collection. And then there's also the collection of some of the stuff that they're going to be selling at Anchor Blue this summer. This spring and summer, actually. Oh, there's some more. Like you think I can put to wear this stuff. Number one, I'm not 15 years old. I'm not a teenager. That was way back in the early 70s, for God's sakes. I'm not 18 years old or 21 years old. And besides, I would have I wasn't that, I've never been that tiny. So, here's some more. Any more? Here's the final bunch. Now, I don't know where they got my address. I suspect DirecTV Rewards sent it to them. But believe me, if I had to go to Burbank or Panorama City to do this, you're nuts. Boy, you're really nuts. Okay. And speaking of the Hills, of course, they've done a video, and reportedly that people are denying it, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised that this video came about. It's a sex tape. What do you expect? And I can't wait to see this sex tape. Believe it or not, I just wonder what exactly they're going to do in this. What kind of action they're going to have. Well, I wonder if it's going to be about as much fun as watching some of the sex romps I saw last Saturday when I went to the theater to see Forgetting Sarah Marshall. If you have not seen that movie, you got to see it. You got to see Mila Kunis, who played the hotel desk hostess, and for that poor guy who broke up with Sarah, and they eventually got together. And frankly, I'm going to tell you something. That lady's a better catch for that guy than Kristen Bell, the lady played by Kristen Bell, the blonde. Mila Kunis is cute. And I've never seen that 70s show, but I'm telling you, that woman is hot. It's all over Hollywood. Unbelievable. Well, when we come back here, we're going to have a little more fun. We're going to talk about a couple of MySpace friends of mine that have had a great week. I'll tell you about them when we come back in a moment. You're watching the Playa Vista Party Dog Show right here on YouTube. We'll be back in just a